In this video, I'm going to talk about basics of how to jump rope.
I'm Aaron Robinette, head coach of Athletic Power and Performance. Don't be a piece, train holistically.
One more thing about the jump rope is it really translates over to the field. So once you learn how to jump rope and you take it before your practices and your events, and you do about anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes prior to doing your practices or events, it really charges up your muscles, gets them really ready, activated, and ready to go to improve your performance. When you learn how to jump rope, I want to talk about some of the basic faults. I want to talk about some of the other basics, the things you want to do. But the first thing I want to start with is getting the right jump rope. So this guy right here is a $40 jump rope. It's got the swivel handles. It's nice. It's a good one. It's got the nylon cord, and it whips around pretty good the way you want it to, but you don't need to start with this one to start. It's nice to get this one, but you can get the $5–10 one that has the nylon cord, the plastic handles, and to learn, that can actually work really well. The one that you want to avoid, in my personal opinion, is one that has the actual rope material, ironically, even though it's a jump rope. That guy, the rope tends to be a little bit too light. I'd rather go with a rubber one, a leather one, or any other variety of materials, but that light rope is really hard to get the rope coming around, and it'll really make you frustrated and make it more difficult. So buying the jump rope, buying the right jump rope is the first step to learning how to jump rope. The next thing I want to talk about is a couple of the major faults and the reason for them. The first fault is the person that really wants to jump a little bit too high for the need. And the reason why someone wants to do that is there's a fear that they're not going to get over the rope. And it could also be how they're swinging the rope. So the first thing when you swing the rope, I'm going to go into the basic, is just nice, easy, and you just want to get it to where it's down in front of you. The common fault here is, first of all, a big arm swing comes with that, and the feeling that the jump rope is landing about here versus right in the ground right in front of you. So this tends to look like this for a beginner, and as you can see, after the third jump, I already caught my feet, which you can do anyway in any jump. But the other thing is, I can do about 10 of those jumps and then I'm done. I need a long rest. And you should be able to jump rope for, when you're first starting out, about 2 to 3 minutes, straight through, easy, maybe getting a little fatigued, but shortly, as you really get, as long as you're in rhythm, you should be able to get up to 10 minutes pretty quickly. So that's the first fault. The second fault I alluded to, which is the big arm swing. You're really trying to get that rope to go through. And the reason for that is wanting to get that rope all the way through, again, not necessary. The third thing, and probably the one you're going to have to fight against most, even after I tell you, is the shoulders coming up this way and really getting the shoulders tight. You really need to relax the shoulders. You need to make sure you're breathing nice and comfortably. And jumping rope is all about rhythm. So the first thing I'm going to talk about before we even start swinging the rope is just a nice little hop. And the thing you want to make sure to do as you do this, especially as you start swinging the rope, is pulling your feet up at your toes. And I'm saying pulling your feet up at your toes rather than pulling your toes, because what I don't want you to do is your feet in your shoe is pulling your toes this way. I'd rather have you pull your foot up just a little bit. You want to land on the ball of your foot, but as you come up, pull your toe up just a little bit. Your foot at your toe as I talk about that. So a little rhythm, you want to make sure you get just that nice, comfortable, and you want to feel like this, almost like your shoulders are relaxed and just kind of bouncing like this. The tension will come as you start jumping with the rope, but we're going to try and reduce that also. So the next thing you want to do is, as you start to swing the rope around, I want you to start thinking about hearing this noise. Just that bounce noise, and you want to hit that right about 6 inches to a foot in front of your feet. So the other thing is, going back to getting the right jump rope, is you want to size the jump rope right for you. So there's a variety of rules with this, stepping on it and getting right to about your armpit. As you can see, and we're talking about the actual cord or the handles, so right where the handle swivels, that should be roughly about where your armpit is. That's the sizing guide. As you notice here, my armpit's here. I have a little bit shorter rope. That works a little bit better for me. As you get a little bit more comfortable with the rope, your arms tend to go a little bit lower with the rope. You're able to make it a little bit shorter and it works a little bit better for you. So let's go ahead and get into it. I want to get into the whole thing all at once, and I'm going to talk about it as we go through. So I always like to do a little swing side to side before I get the rhythm. You don't have to. But the other thing is, as you notice my hands, I tend to have a little bit wider with my hands. So my hands tend to go a little wider. If you can bring them a little narrower, that's a little bit better. But whatever works for you right now, as long as your shoulders are relaxed, you're breathing, and you're getting that rhythm, that's where you want to be. As you swing these guys also, again, instead of doing the big arm swing as I've already talked about, you want to make sure to kind of flick your wrist this way. Flick your wrist, that's why you need a little bit of weight with the cord, is as you flick it, you want to make sure you're hitting it down in front of you. Not slamming, but just hitting it down to where it makes that little bit of noise. So you can do this nice and slow. As you get more comfortable, you get a little faster. And this is just the basics. So you just want to get comfortable with hitting that cord, that rope right in front of your feet, and just being nice and comfortable. Shoulders are relaxed. You're able to breathe. The fact that I'm talking right now, I'm able to breathe just fine. I'm not getting out of breath. And that's your basic pattern. So what I want you to do is go ahead and get your rope. Just get comfortable. And the other thing I want to talk about with this is this surface that you jump on. So you want a nice smooth surface. Carpet's really hard to jump rope on. Anything like a mat that is a little bit soft, that's a little bit harder to jump on. There is more the kind of the solid mats that exercise equipment goes on. Those are pretty good to do, but anything that has a little bit of material, a little roughness to it, you want to tend to avoid. Concrete, asphalt, wood floors, provided you're not damaging the wood floor. So you want to ask parents about that. Make sure you're not doing anything that'll upset your parents. But any surface like that, you want to make sure to use that type of surface, something that's a little bit smoother that the rope can hit and slide. Again, carpet's probably the biggest one I can tell you. Carpet or the yoga mat or something like that, that's going to cause your rope to drag a little bit. To a nice comfortable surface, or a nice smooth surface, so you're able to jump rope. And so eventually, I want to talk about this. As you start to get a little bit better with this, and you're going, okay, 5-10 minutes, it may start to get boring. Hopefully, when you first get going and you first start to feel like, oh, wow, this is pretty cool, I'm able to do this. But eventually you're going to get to the point where it's going to get a little bit boring. I don't want to get too complicated in this with all the different things you can do, but I'm just going to give you a couple things to think about just with footwork as you're using the jump rope. So the first one is just simply going on one foot, alternating feet. And this creates a little variety, and it creates a little challenge with possibly catching your foot. The second thing is creating a little bit forward and back with that. So let me demonstrate. So as you get in the foot, you can actually take your other foot, go forward. And apparently I'm catching right now. Okay. And see, it creates a little bit more variety, a little bit more challenge. And you're almost, as you say, skipping rope. You're doing a little skipping. Provides a little bit of variety. The other thing you can do is a little bit of side to side with that same pattern. So just with that right there, there is a lot of variety you can do with the jump rope. Much more than I'm showing you here. But these are the basic steps. They go from not being able to jump rope into starting to get some patterns and movement. Remember, what you're really trying to do is get rhythm. That's your big thing. Get rhythm. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up. If you want more videos like this, subscribe to my channel.